Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to Basic Brewing Radio for Thursday, June 26th, 2025. I'm James Spencer. Here at Basic Brewing Radio, we're all about home brewing. This week, it's Hop Sampler 25, where Adam Ross, Scott Housel, Matt Giovanisi, Josh Secor, Chris Colby, and Detlef Kurtke join me to sample single hop beers brewed with U.S. Crystal, U.S. Delta, and Zythos. Or is it Zythos? If you want to support us financially, check out patreon.com/basicbrewing. And many thanks to everybody who's helping out that way. If you go to patreon.com/basicbrewing, you can see a long list of stuff that you can access if you sign up as a supporter. Many thanks to the new Patreon subscribers who are signing up every week. Your help is very much appreciated. Financial supporters this week will see an early release of our Basic Brewing video episode featuring an accidental ice beer. Steve Wilkes brings in a lager that got a little too close to the cold spot in his fridge and actually froze, and we had no idea that that was going to happen. So that was a fun surprise on camera. Supporters will also get the recipe for that beer as well, and you can freeze it if you want to, as well as the recipe for my Helles, and you'll get to see a behind-the-scenes video of how that beer was brewed. Steve and I decided not to shoot a tasting of that Helles, so I'm releasing that behind-the-scenes video as a standalone video, and I'm going to release it to both levels of supporter this time. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to tell you that I'm taking off next week from posting the audio show. We've got friends coming in from out of town, and I'm releasing this show a day later in the week than usual because of scheduling and getting all 7 of us together last night to record this show. So it's total chaos around here. I'm getting my ingredients together for my Japanese-inspired lager that we've talked about on the show. I got Pilsner malt from Small Batch Boutique along with hops. I've ordered yuzu extract. I've bought some nori. And I got a variety of sake rice grown on Isbell Farms here in Arkansas. I got that from Dr. Scott LaFontaine at the University of Arkansas. Now I just need the time to brew. And it may be a while. Our friends and sponsors at Imperial Yeast have introduced 2 new seasonal yeast strains, L76 Clyde and L36 Ray Gun, 2 lager strains for crafting excellent summer brews. L36 Ray Gun is great for brewing clean, crisp, Australian-style lagers for a smooth, balanced malt finish. L76 Clyde is a classic American-style strain. Clyde ferments crisp and dry with minimal sulfur and diacetyl. Both are available now until the end of July or when they sell out. You know, lagers are continuing to grow in volume and popularity across the country, and I got to tell you, I'm digging them. I love brewing them, and I love drinking them, too. Ask your local homebrew store about L36 Ray Gun and L76 Clyde when you can, or while you can. Go into the heat with some cold lagers. And, of course, you can check out all the dependable deliciousness at imperialyeast.com. That's imperialyeast.com. Okay, having this big group for the tasting of the hop samplers is a lot of fun. Steve missed out this time because he was feeling puny, as my dad used to say, but our friend and Steve's neighbor Detlef was kind enough to step into his shoes. Detlef Kurtke, welcome back to Basic Brewing Radio.
No, thank you for having me. I was surprised when you asked me to do this because I think of myself not as a very good taster, but I think it'll be fun, and I enjoy being here. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You are standing in for your neighbor across the street, Steve Wilkes, who went fishing and caught a bug, caught a cold or something, had something upper respiratory. so he's not able to join us this evening. So you're pitching in, and I appreciate that.
Oh, no, that's an honor.
and I'm going to introduce you to the rest of the gang in the order that they are on my Zoom screen here. There's Scott Housel, homebrewer from Florida. Welcome, Scott.
Thanks for having me.
Josh Secor from up there at Gambit Brewing in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Hello, fellas.
Adam Ross from Twin Span Brewing in Bettendorf, Iowa.
Always a pleasure.
Matt Giovanisi from Brew Cabin and Swim University, somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah, glad to be back.
And Chris Colby down in author and comedian, political commentator down in Bastrop, Texas.
Hey, James. Thanks for having me on the show.
Now, last week was a humbling experience, or a couple weeks ago was a humbling experience for, all of us, frankly. We did. We went into the hop sampler thinking, I think that we could do pretty good, but three of us got one out of the three correct, and the others, pardon the expression, were skunked. So does anybody feel more confident going into this round?
As long as you got the labels right this time, James, I think we'll be fine. I still don't believe I got it wrong last time.
Well, I think, if anything, I think this round may be more difficult. We're comparing three different hops. We're comparing Crystal hops, U.S. Delta, and Zythos hops. Anybody have any experience with any of those?
Yeah, those are the ones I use exclusively.
Get them right.
The only three I use.
Then I predict a clean sweep.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't those variants of COVID? Zythos and Delta.
No, whenever I think of Zythos or I see the word Zythos, I think of Sean Connery in a mankini. But that's Zardos. That's Zardos. That's something.
Zardos, yeah. That's different.
In a mankini.
So
something entirely different.
No one else is brewed with Crystal? I feel like Crystal was super hot like 10 years ago, and then no one uses it anymore. And now it's like a somewhat well-kept secret because I buy Crystal all the time for dirt cheap, and I love it.
Ooh.
But it's also super variable, so I'm just going to disqualify myself from getting that one.
That sounded like a legal disclaimer. So what we've got is three small batches of beer. Each one of the batches produced 7 bottles. So tonight the batch will be gone because we're about to drink them all. So the recipe for those... by the way, this is the 25th hop sampler. We picked it up again recently after, a long hiatus. But it's fun. I forgot how easy they were to brew, because you can knock out a whole brew day in like 3.5 hours of, brewing all three of these and putting them in the fermenter. So the process is you start with 3 quarts or about 3 liters of water, and you put 1 pound or 450 grams of Pilsen light dry malt extract into a kettle with that water, and I usually heat it up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit just to be consistent across all the batches. And then once it hits 140, then I mix in the light dry malt extract. And then just as it reaches the boil, I shut off the heat, and I put in the hops, do a 10-minute hop stand, and then chill with ice water in the sink, and then rack into a 1-gallon jug fermenter and add 3 grams of Safale USO5. So typically, or I used to measure the gravity, but then, even a little hydrometer sample it takes away from the volume of it's a considerable portion of the batch. But I would get consistent results. The original gravity was 1066, final gravity 1009 for an ABV of around 7.5%. So these are considerable beers. We're doing Crystal, U.S. Delta, and Zythos. I put a full ounce or 28 grams of Crystal in because it was 3.5% alpha acid. Because U.S. Delta was 6.4%, I put 15 grams, and Zythos was 10.4, so I put 9 grams. in there. And I'm just trying to proportionally adjust to match the alpha acid levels to hopefully match the bitterness of the beers. So why don't we open our first beer? Beer number 1, and these are randomized, and my wife Susan has put duct tape with numbers on the top of the labels so that we don't know what's what. And I swear I don't cheat, as is evidenced by last time's showing. It pours a nice, what would you call it? It looks oranger on the camera than it is in real life. It's a nice kind of straw color. There's a nice foamy head on there.
This smells like it's either Crystal or Zythos or Omicron. I can't tell. It's one of those.
It smells pretty good.
Yeah, it's got a good aroma.
Smells great.
It's reasonably clear. Nice.
And these are pretty. These little beers turn out to be fairly tasty. So I like the procedure. It's a really good procedure or technique to test hops that you're not familiar with, and then you get 7 delicious, fairly high gravity beers. Who wants to go first? I won't push Detlef out there first because he's the new guy.
Just a question about the process. When we were talking, James, you said that you're going to read the characteristics of the hops.
Yes.
Is that before we say anything or after?
No. After we give our feedback on what we're thinking about this beer, I will randomly select one of the hops to read the description of it, and then we'll taste.
Okay.
And then we'll taste the second beer.
Okay.
And talk about it a little bit, and then I'll read another random descriptor. So anybody want to jump out there first? Josh, how about you?
So the aroma is just generically hoppy, if that's a thing, which I know it is a thing. But then in the flavor, I get a lot of like kind of woodsy, minty character out of it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm getting actually, I got some woodiness. I got some herbal vegetable kind of thing, like not just dried herbs, but also almost a little like green bean type of veggie edge to it. But it's pretty subtle. I'm really having to dig to get anything to jump out.
I have a question. What's woody? I don't eat a lot of wood normally, so
It's a great source of fiber.
That's a legitimate question. I really
Great
don't
source
know.
of fiber. Yeah, when I say woody, it's kind of just like the essence of a forest. You kind of just get that like wood and vegetation, and you almost.
Oh,
never
so the
find
vegetation
bites.
is a part of that. It's not like eating a dried, like go to Home Depot, grab a piece of wood,
Take a bite.
take a bite.
Yeah.
Well,
Enjoy the lignin.
Is it
You're thinking like woodsy in terms of like the forest.
Yes. Yeah. 'Cause
Okay.
It's hard. I don't know. For me, and I could be way off with my descriptors here, but I feel like once you start talking about wood as a flavor contributor, you fall into barrel territory. You start talking vanilla, and you start talking about the tannins. And then if you're talking about Home Depot or Lowe's wood, it's kind of hard to avoid, cedar and press, the glue that holds the
pressure
plywood
treated.
together. So.
Yeah, well, I'm getting a little maybe piney, like maybe a strong storm has come through and ripped up the pine trees, and it's that kind of, piney. It's woody and that piney kind of essence kind of thing.
To me, the woody, it almost comes off like if you go out and you cut trees with a chainsaw, and that kind of aroma in the air of like that fresh cut wood.
Yeah.
It's similar. It's not exactly the same, but it's in the ballpark kind of what woody.
Like a sweet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Like petrichor in a weird way.
Is
Sure.
anyone else getting a sort of a clinging aftertaste with it? Like I get the upfront bitterness, and then there's like the there's a little bit of like on the back end.
We lost you there, Chris. Where'd you go?
I don't know what happened. It just
You were talking about your back end.
talking about my backhand, yeah. I remember as a young man, I never had any problems.
Are you saying it's an unpleasant lingering flavor?
Not necessarily unpleasant. It's hoppy. I mean, to me, it's sort of. I'm wondering if it's a higher cohumulone hop than others, and I could be just embarrassing myself, but I'll
It's
say
a bold statement for the first beer. I will say that.
Yeah.
Is no one else getting the kind of vegetal part to this?
I do. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel that there's a little bit of a vegetable taste to it, but I also get some at the back end. I get some fruit. I don't know what to do with the woody stuff, but I get some fruit, but I can't pinpoint what kind of fruit I'm having there. But yeah, I agree with the vegetable. I mean, you mentioned something like beans or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that part I feel too.
I'm not necessarily getting citrus.
No,
it's not citrus.
No.
It's almost like a I don't know. This is not a good example. Like a mango. I'm trying to figure out what it is for me. I mean, it's like something exotic fruit.
It's almost, to me, I see what I get what you're saying. To me, it's almost like a canned fruit cocktail, which I'm sure they don't have in Germany.
Yes.
Something like that.
Well, I was thinking maybe a little like Asian pear. It's kind of like pear, but really mild. And when you said like a generic fruit, that's kind of what, I thought maybe pear, but I thought, Asian pear is pretty mild.
Maybe honeydew. A little honeydew.
If it's piney and woody, I don't think it's resinous. It's not dank.
No, not at all.
No, I don't
It
think
is more of like a fresh thing. Like the chainsaw wood is a really good comparison of that smell that you get.
Well, let me read a randomly selected descriptor. This isn't necessarily the one that we just had, but this is just the way I line these up. I think I lined them up this way just because that's the order in which I brewed them on brew day. Crystal hops. Crystal hops are an American hop variety developed by the USDA as an alternative to German Hallertau Mittelfrüh hops. They're known for their balanced, subtle, and delicate aroma, offering notes of floral, citrus, and spice with a hint of wood. Crystal hops are versatile and can be used in a variety of beer styles, including lagers, ales, and even some IPAs. Characteristics and flavor profile. Noble character. Crystal hops are often used in place of German noble hops, offering a similar delicate aroma with an added layer of complexity. They impart aromas of floral, citrus, and spice, including notes of cinnamon and nutmeg. Crystal hops contribute to a smooth bitterness and nuanced aroma with subtle fruity and spicy notes. They're well suited for traditional lagers. Bred from Hallertau, Mittelfrüh, Cascade, and other German aroma hop parentage. Interested. Developed by the USDA in 1983.
That sounds like different Crystal than what I use. I've never gotten cinnamon or nutmeg off of Crystal. I use Crystal as a filler hop. Like it adds a little floral, it adds a little hint of fruit, but it's really there to pair up with some really expensive punchy hops and add some polyphenols and some haze. It's a nice little trick for how much it usually costs.
Well, I'm enjoying the beer. I think it's a tasty little beer.
Oh yeah,
Me too. Yeah.
Just to chime in, I mean, I think it's very unique. This is a taste I've never had before.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't brewed that many beers, but I mean, this is something that I enjoy it. It's a tasty beer, but it's something that I have never tasted before. That flavor profile and the aroma. And I like it.
Good. Excellent. Well, don't take off the stickers yet, everybody. Let's move on. Are we ready to move on to number 2? This is a little more hazy.
Lighter in color.
It's lighter in color.
Yeah. It's got a little green tint to it.
Maybe it's bad. No.
I hope not. I've just poisoned all of you.
You got the crud.
You got the crud, like Steve.
It tastes like beer to me.
Yeah.
These are very similar, the two. Color's different. Maybe a little bit better foam retention on the second one, but the flavor is very similar to me.
Yeah,
I think they taste wildly different.
Really?
Okay, I'm glad. I do. I think
Me
this
too.
is
I
way
agree.
fruity.
Tell us
Yeah.
more, Matt.
It tastes wildly different than the first beer I had. Yeah, definitely fruitier. Like the first sip was hit me like more of a modern hop interpretation than the first beer. To my palate, kind of tasted like, I'll call it dad beer or beer flavored beer, and the second beer again more of a fruit forward than the muted hops of the first one. That's at least my initial interpretation. And the last time, just for the record, the last time I had a beer was on this show. So I am like, my palate is as cleansed as it gets.
It's like a baby's bottom.
Concerningly cleansed, if I'm being honest.
Too cleansed.
Josh, you seem to jump out there and agree that this one is.
Yeah. To me, this is the first thing that came to my mind was juicy fruit gum, which they probably also don't have in Germany. And juicy fruit gum, apple, but not a green apple,
Yeah.
more like a red apple.
I got a green apple hit in the very beginning.
Definitely different than the first.
Yeah, green apple, but not like an off flavor of fermentation.
No.
Kind of green apple. This
No.
is
No,
very,
not-
this is very
not
much a
the-
candied type of candy flavor. Green apple.
Jolly Rancher green apple.
It does smell more fruity than the first one, for sure.
I don't get any vegetal in this one, and maybe that's just making the fruitiness pop more on my palate, but it's not intensely different from the first one.
There's some taste in it that's very similar. I mean, I get that there's more fruit in this, but there's some other flavor that I would characterize as vegetal that was sort of the same for both of these, and that the fruitiness is the separator. But it doesn't. To me, it didn't seem a lot. But then, what's a lot?
More than a
Well,
little.
that's true. I mean, the difference in between these beers, even the last time we did this, wasn't that huge. I mean, we nitpick it to as big as we can make it, but
Right.
three pale ales or three pale ales. But I do think there's a definite difference between these two.
Yeah, I also think that there's a fairly good difference between the two. Not that one is much better than the other. The first thing when I got the second sample was that came to my mind was cream ale.
Oh.
And I agree with the fruitiness. I didn't get the green apple. I mean, the green apple in my mind is always something very tart and very, very kind of sticking out, kind of a taste. Maybe apple, but not green apple. And but yeah, I still think that there's quite a difference in the aroma and flavor between the first and the second one.
If I was making a lager, I think I would go with the first one. It just seems more subtle all around. And I kind of like that. And then I think this I'd go more for a pale ale, just with that bit of fruitiness. And it seems like it has a little bit less of like the noble stereotypical characters.
There's a note of not juicy fruit gum, but fruit stripe gum. You guys
Now
remember
that they have in Germany.
Yeah.
Remember fruit
I
stripe?
wish I'd known what you're talking
I think it's the Germany's largest export. Is that right?
Fruit stripe gum? Yeah, that's where it
Fruit gum?
Anybody remember fruit stripe? Do they still make it?
I remember it from Home Alone 2.
I think you all eat too much. You all have too much candy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, this is from like 40 years ago. No, not even that, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
No, I think it's as it's warming up. I think the bitterness is similar. If anything, I think the bitterness may be a teeny bit more astringent on the second one.
I would agree.
But yeah, I can see that there is a. To me, it's not as radically different from the first one as I think y'all are saying. But that's fine.
I said wildly different.
Yeah. Oh,
just semantics.
Wildly different. Not radical, but wild.
That's right.
And as long as we don't use numbers, we're all right. It can be the same and different to different people.
So shall we? The second randomly selected descriptor is U.S. Delta. U.S. Delta hops introduced in 2009 are a dual-purpose hop variety developed by Hopsteiner, known for both aroma and bittering characteristics. They are a cross between the English Fuggle hop and a Cascade-derived male. So both of these first two have Cascade lineage. Delta hops offer a distinct spicy aroma with notes of melon and citrus, making them suitable for various beer styles, including ESBs and IPAs. Developed by Hopsteiner as a cross between Fuggle and Cascade. Mild, pleasant, and spicy aroma with hints of melon and citrus. Commercial examples: Harpoon Brewery's 100-barrel series single hop ESB is a well-known example of a commercial brew utilizing Delta hops. Anybody familiar with that one?
No.
I have flown Delta plenty though.
I have a T-shirt because I got stranded in Atlanta.
I've never flown Delta.
What?
You are lucky.
I know a pilot for Delta, but I've never been on one.
Wow.
Is that why you've never been on one? You know,
I know too much. Yep.
Are we ready for beer number 3?
Absolutely not.
Do you still want to ruminate on beers 1 and 2? I'm gonna pour.
I'm doing.
No gushers so far.
Ooh, this is the clearest one yet for me. It's not quite transparent, but it's not quite hazy either.
Yeah,
Good. It's spritzy.
has a lot of carbonation.
Yeah. This may have the most present aroma. Maybe because it's so carbonated. Oh, now that's different.
Yep, that's quite different.
That's more differenter than the first two. This to me is the fruitiest by far.
What 40-year-old chewing gum does this remind you all of?
Wrigley's Spearmint.
This one's definitely kicking off more fruit aroma than the others.
I think the bitterness is more subdued. It's still present, but it's softer than the first two.
It doesn't have the lingering aftertaste that the other two did, especially the first one.
But I say more fruity, but I haven't settled on the fruit to blame it on yet. It's kind of a soft fruit. It's not a citrus fruit.
You're getting like almost a raspberry, kind of just like a sweeter red fruit, stone fruit kind of thing.
I think it's like maybe a dragon fruit, like grown in Malaysia on the southern side of a hill.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Obviously not a northern side.
Completely. It's a different character altogether.
Don't anchor us, Colby.
You got to have humidity into effect because this is like a mid-humid.
Yeah, but what's the pH of the soil? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
It's flinty. It's a flinty soil.
To me, this is honeydew melon, apple, and I like raspberry. It's not quite so raspberry, but it's on the road to raspberry.
It's almost a hint of, and I mean it's similar to raspberry, but almost a hint of like Sitka spruce. You know what I mean? How that can sometimes come off as like a little bit raspberry-ish. I could be completely hallucinating that into existence, but
Sitka spruce. I know spruce.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
He was a famous singer in the 50s.
No. That part I got.
Sitka spruce.
I get mint.
I got more mint out of the first one than I do this, but there's a little bit of menthol-y at the end of this.
Yeah.
I don't get any fruit, like zero fruit.
I get this one, like the overwhelming or the most prominent. I would say there's a melon characteristic to it.
I can get mint. This is almost like I'm selling that raspberry though. It's like drinking raspberry iced tea a couple hours after you brushed your teeth.
I ate so many raspberries yesterday. So raspberry is like I went to Costco and bought 4 like huge things of raspberries right before this call. I feel like I am currently a raspberry. I feel like the authority on raspberry, and I don't get any raspberry.
Need to roll you down.
Maybe
to the
you know
juicing
too
room.
much. Yeah, I'll go honeydew with a little bit of mint.
Yeah, I'm really stumped with this one. I mean, again, this is wildly different in my mind to the other ones. I think I agree with either the menthol or taste to it, but I can't taste any raspberry in it. Obviously, melon triggered a little bit, could be in that thing, but menthol would be probably what I would be leaning most to. Very slight taste of that.
So you're all saying I should put this bowl of raspberries away from the table? It might be throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, it's that one is really hard for me. I have no idea where I should go with that one.
This is from the Yakima Chief website. Named in honor of the Greek word for beer, Zythos was designed to complement existing IPA and pale ale hop varieties. It's an excellent blend for any hop-forward beer. Specific aroma descriptors include distinct tropical or pineapple and citrus tones with slight pine characteristics. And this is from Hops List. Created by Hop Union LLC, Zythos is a proprietary hop blend created specifically with IPAs in mind. It features notes and aromas of tangerine, grapefruit, pine, and even pineapple. Its high alpha acid content means it can be used for bittering, but is largely intended to shine as an aroma hop.
All right.
So I
made my choice.
I'm very confused. This is going to be hard for me. I'm going to go back and taste number 1.
I feel like last time we all got similar fruits out of everything.
Yeah.
And now we're getting like no fruits, and they all say citrus. And we're not really picking out citrus so much.
If anything, I'd say the second beer had the most of that to me.
Number 1 has kind of a mentholy, just teeny tiny lingering aftertaste. To me now.
Were you smoking Newports?
I was going to say Cools. I was smoking Cools.
Cools.
Oh,
yeah.
Cools. Okay.
Come on, man.
No, well, that makes more sense.
Newports.
What was the alpha acid rating on each of these?
Okay. Crystal was 3.5.
Right.
Delta was 6.4. Zythos was 10.4. But remember, I added different weights of each, amounts of each.
So by that logic, shouldn't the clearest beer be the one that used the least amount of hops, has the smallest polyphenol load, least matter in there?
Well, now that they're all warm, they're all clear to me.
I was going to say, my 3 cups look identical right now.
Yeah, the chill.
I can see the third one being clear for me, but I'm drinking the third one in a different cup, so it's possible that it's the cup.
Yeah, number 1 is the clearest to me.
Number 3 is the clearest for me.
Oh boy.
Well, you're wrong.
I think Susan's just messing with us. Susan is just like, screw this. I'm tired of doing this. Now he's making me do 21 bottles.
Picking every third bottle.
She's like,
but on the 30th episode, everyone gets it right, even though she mixed them all up.
I think if I have one more sip, everything's going to be clear to me.
All right.
These are big beers, right?
I know, yeah.
7% something?
7.5.
Yeah.
7.5.
I can feel it.
Yeah, so maybe dangerous to have an after show.
That's why these shows are so good, though.
Is that why?
After party.
Hopefully y'all ate big heavy meal before you started.
Nope.
These.
Yeah, poor
I
Matt.
had a bowl of raspberries and some green apples.
I forgot a bunch of raspberries.
Poor Matt's in the mountain time zone.
I was just chewing on some firewood.
Yeah.
It's some dragon fruit from a southern facing slope in Malaysia.
I've eaten nothing all day.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
the rocket ship straight to the moon.
right.
Pork chop in every glass, right?
Okay, boy. Now's the time on Hop Sampler when we make a stab in the dark.
When we dance.
The time of sprockets when we dance.
Now, anybody want to go first?
I got mine. I'll just go first.
Okay, Matt.
I think the first one is crystal. The second one is the Z word, Zythos. Third one is Delta.
Ooh. Matt and I are in lockstep.
Oh, okay. So crystal, Zythos, and Delta. Oh. Do either of you have a favorite?
I like number 2 the best.
Same.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. You're copying off of each other's papers.
Yeah.
Okay, so to remind us, crystal is floral, citrus, and spice with a hint of wood. Delta is spicy aroma with notes of melon and citrus. And Zythos was tropical with citrus tones of slight pine characteristics. Okay, who wants to go next? Adam?
I'll go Delta, Zythos, Crystal.
And do you have a favorite?
I'm really enjoying the first one a lot.
Oh, okay.
It's just really nice and subtle. For a pale ale, I'd go for the second one, though.
Adam?
Crystal, Delta, Zythos. And I've never pulled like this herbal woody character out of Crystal before, but it's here. And I'm gonna say I'm looking at the spider charts for each one, and that's kind of pushing my opinion. I think my favorite of the bunch is probably Delta, the second one, and it's such a just mellow, well-rounded hop profile. I can't really pinpoint in any direction. And then looking at the spider chart, it's quite round. It's quite balanced.
See, that's what made me think number 2 was Zythos or Zythos, Zythos, because that's a blend that's meant to prop up other stuff, and that one felt the most wide-ranging to me. Like that felt like the most generic IPA hop to me, which is why I went Zythos as number 2. I'm probably 100% wrong, but in my head, that one should have been the fruitiest. That one should have been the newest, the new schoolist. New schoolist? That's a word, not in German, but that's a word in American.
Yeah. Zythos to me was the one I'm calling Zythos number 3. I thought was the most fruity. The punchiest.
Yeah.
Most tropical.
What?
I'm 0 for 3 right now, so.
Oh yeah, no. I think you're totally wrong, but we were both wrong last time, so this is going to be fun.
would now be a good time for me to pitch my newest book, How to Taste Beer?
How to taste raspberries.
How to taste for beer, how to know what hops are in beer without looking at a chart.
Yeah, 2 seconds before you're proven wrong. Yeah,
Exactly.
now would be the best
Now would be the
time.
best time.
If you're ever going to pitch it, it's now.
Yeah.
Well, you know
Yeah,
what? If I've
the
learned
time is now.
If I've learned anything in the last, 8 years, is that even if I'm wrong, I'm going to tell you that I'm right.
Well, seems to work nowadays.
Yeah.
Chris Colby, weigh in.
Oh. Well, I'm tempted to do like a game theory approach to this. Like, given how off we were before, like I can just pick like the opposite of everybody, and if I'm right, I'm right. But I'm gonna go with Zythos being the last one, Crystal being the second one, and what does that make the first one? Delta, Omicron, something like that.
And what's your favorite?
Nimbus. I like the third one.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think they're very similar beers, but I like the third one. I think it's got more more pleasant hop character and less sort of clinging aftertaste.
Detlef?
Alrighty. I mean, I am the German, and I'm probably completely off.
Show us your chart that you've designed.
I think beer number 1 I think is Zythos. Beer number 2 is US Delta, and beer number 3 is Crystal.
And what's your
game theory?
Do you have a favorite?
Oh, and my favorite one is number 1.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So
I've chosen the second one as being Crystal. I'm going to say Zythos is 3 and Delta is 1. So, wow, we're all over the road.
yeah.
I kind of like number 3. So Scott and Detlef like number 1. Adam, Matt, and Josh like number 2, and then Chris and I like number 3. But we're kind of all over the road as far as which we think is which.
I think we have to have almost every combo covered here.
I think we do. Somebody might have them all right. Okay, so now's the time when we rip off the label for number 1. It is
I'm on sprockets.
it is Crystal.
Boom.
Yes.
So Crystal.
Just like I said.
So Adam, Matt, and Josh so far. Now number 2 is Zythos.
Yep.
I got one.
The name of the book, once again, is How to Taste Beer.
So obviously the third, just to check to make sure that all the labeling is Delta. So Matt, you got them all right.
And Josh
got them all right. Look at that. Holy
now
crap.
I can tell my wife now that I got all these right, so she'll be like, "Oh no, maybe the brewery was a good idea."
That's validation.
Yeah, good luck.
This shall win her respect.
Yeah, that'll be the one.
Wow. Congratulations. I was going to say the good news is that everybody got one right, but that's not. Detlef, you and I bombed out, and Adam got Crystal right. Scott got Zythos right. Oh, Chris, you also bombed out as well. So you're in good company with me, and so 3 out of 7 of us didn't get any right. 2 out of 7 got it all right, and 2 out of 7 got.
I believe game theory.
We won't hold it against you.
No.
So we did better that time. As a group, we did better with this group. I thought it was. I think that this one. I think that the beers were more similar in this round than they were in last round. Does anybody agree with that?
Yeah, I think 100%. These were. I mean, we talked like they were wildly different, Matt, but wildly different is maybe 10%, difference between the three beers. It's not a lot, really.
Yeah, that's the thing is
Which makes this fun.
when Steve and I get together and taste these things, it's like, we keep talking about the differences that we sense in two beers, but in a triangle test, would we be able to differentiate them? Probably not. The differences that we're talking about are so slim that, some of the, like last time, I think at least one of the samples was like, wow, this is like radically different. But these were all kind of in the same ballpark. To me, number 3 was the most differentest. The first two were pretty close. But I think that they all, I would drink and shall drink a whole bottle of any of each of these and be happy. I think.
Yeah, this 7.5% alcohol helps with that.
Yeah.
You get happier as it goes.
I feel
along.
like the way that I determined it was I was looking for Zythos, this Zythos. I was looking for that one because I felt like that one was probably the most modern hop flavor, the most fruity. And then I figured Delta was probably the most fuggly beer flavored beer one. And so for me, the third one was that.
Go ahead.
No,
that's how I approached it too. As soon as I hit that juicy fruit gum character, which is just kind of like a generic, this is fruity, to me that signified Zythos, because Zythos is a blend. It's not a specific hop. It's a blend of hops that's made for propping up IPAs.
Yeah.
So that kind of, once I found that one, then I could kind of guess at the other. Not guess. I could obviously accurately pick out the other two.
Right. The nuances between the two of you, you were able to.
Yeah, when I have woody, minty, and herbal written down for the 1 and 3, big difference.
And as long as none of us have taken a graduate level statistics course, we can attribute this all to acuity of the palate and not luck of the draw.
I can guarantee there's been no graduate courses over here.
I'm not even a graduate to begin with, so.
Why, Mrs. Robinson?
I still think that number 1 speaks to me.
Oh. And if you finish the other two, it'll continue.
I think it's funny. The one that I've actually used is the one I got right, and I'm not saying that's why, because I commented that it was pulling a lot of vegetal, and I never get vegetal off the crystal I use. Crystal always seems to turn other hops it pairs with into like, if you pair crystal with Citra, I get like candied orange peel rather than just orange zest, with Citra being so citrusy. So picking that out, that was odd. It seemed out of place for me, but also I was pretty confident. I'm like, this feels like crystal. Zythos and Delta, I was like just relying on the spider charts and hoping I got that right.
Well, that was fun, guys. I hope you guys had fun.
You're always fun.
The good news is that listener Mitchell from Omaha has mailed some samples of hops that he said his hop fridge or freezer is overflowing, and so he's sending some hops that we haven't done on the hop sampler. So,
wow.
So if y'all are game, for the future,
thanks, dude.
There may be another one coming up. All right.
Absolutely.
Before I completely lose my ability to speak, I'd like to thank everybody for joining in, and especially Detlef or especially Detlef for
especially
for pinch hitting for Steve. So he doesn't know what he missed out on. So thank you so much.
Suddenly Detlef.
Little shop of hearts.
All right, Adam got it. I saw the look on his face.
Little shop of horrors, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Indeed, Little Shop of Horrors.
That's the signal That Jack Nicholson was in
That's
the
a
movie.
signal.
Jack Nicholson was in the movie, the original movie. Did you know that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Was.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
Well, thanks again to everybody. Congratulations to Matt and Josh for nailing it. We were pretty much all over the road with our guesses this time, but we had a lot of fun. Remember, I'm taking next week off from posting this show. I hope you all have a safe and happy 4th. If you have brewing questions, show suggestions, or just want to say howdy, write to james@basicbrewing.com or just fill out the contact form on basicbrewing.com. And please don't forget to tell us where you're from. Check out our mobile-friendly shop at basicbrewingshop.com. Thanks to everybody supporting us through our Patreon page. Special goodies coming your way. Check that out at patreon.com/basicbrewing. It's all until next time. Until then, thanks for listening, everybody. I'm James Spencer. Production help for Basic Brewing Radio and our website is provided by Kelly Dodson. Basic Brewing Radio is a production of Active Voicing. We'll talk to you next time, everybody. In the meantime, stay well and stay tuned. So long.